Good morning. Do you know that the biggest element in your body is water and that you cannot have life without water? There's nothing that breathes on this globe that can have life without water. There's nothing on this globe that can be balanced in terms of health without water. And yet, most people today suffer from dehydration. Dehydration is pretty much at the base of most of the classical disorders that we're faced with today. And I'm talking about from obesity to hypertension to diabetic conditions to insulin resistance to so many of you just being exhausted and tired most of the time, not realizing that your biggest problem is water. You're not drinking the right type of water. And there's so many different grades of water that you could be drinking today, that people are drinking today, that just doesn't make a difference in terms of their health. So what I want to share with you in the next few minutes, water that you could be drinking or should be drinking that's going to make a difference in your health. Water that will help you feel better, water that will give you more energy and vitality, water that will help you perform better if you're an athlete, water that will cause your brain to work better, water that will cause circulation to be improved in your body, water that will flush and cleanse and detox the tissue in your body, water that will help you get over the fatigue, the brain fatigue that so many of you are suffering from today. It amazes me sometimes how just this one thing, this simplistic thing, has escaped so many of us. I know to a great degree why it is that way. You know, medicine in the Western world, for that matter, has a tendency to see human beings or mortals or man as something solid before something that's solution. And I'm saying to you, you're more solution than you are solid. But too often when we go to the doctor and we're suffering from problems that we have, instead of the recommendation or the first recommendation that's made to us is go drink more water, we get a prescription in hand. And this prescription sends you to the pharmacy to fill. And in many cases, it will give you some temporary relief, but it doesn't give you any type of permanent relief. And we know this because in most cases, many of the prescriptions that you receive, doctors will tell you, particularly as it relates to these classical disorders, you'll be on this medication for the rest of your life. So what I'm saying to you here today, this morning, look, let's think about water first. Let's think water first. Let's think the consumption of water first. Let's think the consumption of alkaline water first before anything. First thing that you should have when you wake up in the morning is water. Your body is looking for water. Your body is looking for electricity. That's really what it's looking for. And so when we start looking today at the basic elements that make up the constituents of matter, we know it's going to be protons and electrons. We know that to be the fact. We know that it's looking at atoms today. And again, we're looking, and we can see these things today because of the microscope when man couldn't see these things before. But we know it's electrons and protons for the most part. That's pretty much what it is. So water is the first thing that your body is looking for in the morning when you wake up. That should be the first thing that you're reaching for. So I'm saying to you, and because we're so deficient, not only just in water today, but also in minerals and electrolytes You need water that is going to alkalize your blood, keep your blood chemistry alkalized. If your blood chemistry falls before what? 7.365, you got a problem. You have a real problem. So you got to make sure that you keep your blood alkalized. You got to keep your blood chemistry balanced. And what we know when we start looking at logarithms, when we start talking about acids and bases or acids and alkaline, then we know the more acids you have in your system, the more problems you're going to have. The more alkaline you are, or you at a stage of alkalinity around 9 to 9.5, somewhere in there, then you're going to pretty much keep your balance every day. So this is a certain water that you need to be drinking every day that's going to hydrolyze your body, revitalize your body, and energize your body. That's what we all need. This is not it doesn't matter who I'm talking to this morning. Your children need this, you need this, your husband needs this, your wife needs this, your next door neighbor needs this, the person in your office that you're working with needs what I'm sharing with you today. This is a huge problem for so many of us. And again, if I go back to these classical disorders, from obesity to diabetes to insulin resistance to hypertension, we can pretty much go first and foremost to water and see that dehydration is at the base of it. So I'm appealing to you today to start drinking more water. Now that what you see going across the ticker at the bottom, this is where I want you to go. Zuma.com, Dr. Nuriddin. Go there, and what you'll see, you're going to see products there. The main product I want you to look at there is called X2O. X2O. That's what I want you to go and check out. And that X2O is really, it's a sachet. It's not in water form yet. But what it will do is, any water that you're drinking, for the most part, it will alkalize that water. Now, I don't subscribe to any of my clients about drinking out of the tap, because I don't think that the tap is as safe as it could be or should be for us today. But I do know that even bad water is better than no water. And so every municipality is under an obligation to make sure that the water that's coming into your homes and into the buildings where we work and so on and so forth is neutral. Every municipality, your city, your state, wherever you're living at, the municipality is under an obligation for that. But in some cases, we know that in the water, there are contaminants. In fact, we could probably pull up your zip code right now and see what the contaminants are in the water where you live. That's easy to do. And I'll share this with you on Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m. I do share those type of things with us. And I'll probably be sharing some of this with you on Facebook and on X and on Instagram and some of these other platforms that I'm talking to you from this morning, relevant to that, because you can find this information by just typing in really your zip code, and you can find out what's really in your water, whatever city you're living in and whatever state and county you're living in today. And that's very, very critical. So while the municipality is under an obligation to make sure that the water is neutral, again, you can filter out what you need to filter out of that water. We know chlorine today has been associated with cancer, has been associated with other disorders today. We know that to be a fact. So what this sachet would do that you're going to see there, called X2O, it will filter chlorine out. It will put electrolytes and minerals into your water, and it's going to alkalize that water. Whether it's bottled water, whether it's water coming out of the tap, or wherever you're getting your water from, it will alkalize that water. And here's the other thing for those of you who already have an ionizer in your home, you're already getting an alkaline water. What this does is, in addition to it alkalizing your water, it also put electrolytes into the water for you. So this is a huge development now that's going on, that this company that I'm associated with, Zuma, worldwide, has now a more convenient form to alkalize your water. And I've been using these ionizers now for 20 years or better in my home. But this allows you to take this, put it in your pocket, travel with it. Women can put it in their pocketbooks, travel with it. And believe me, it's going to make a tremendous difference. I want to tell you about one other product too before we leave, before I let you go here this morning. It's called Focus Up. You're going to see that product there too. Go to Zuma.com, Dr. Nuriddin. Zuma.com/Dr. Nuriddin. You're going to see a product there called Focus Up. This Focus Up deals with your mood, deals with your memory, energizes the body. But here's one of the things that I want to really bring to your attention about Focus Up. Focus Up helps a person with dementia, helps a person with Parkinson's, helps a person with Alzheimer's, those things that affect your brain. Focus Up helps you with that. I know most of you, sometimes you're looking for your keys and they're in your hand, or you're looking for your pocketbook and you're carrying it, or something like that. This is what starts to happen when those neurotransmitters are no longer firing in your brain the way that they're supposed to. Focus Up will start to help those neurotransmitters start to fire the way that they're supposed to. Help you with your memory, your short-term memory. Most of you, your long-term memory is okay. It's your short-term memory that you're running into problems with as you start to age. But even those of you who are students in the classroom now, you're even having these problems. Why are you having these problems? You're suffering from dehydration, major contributing factor. You're suffering from dehydration. The diet that you have today isn't necessarily conducive to brain function working in the way that it's supposed to. The body, the cellular structure working the way that it's supposed to. So I'm appealing to you. Go to Zuma.com/Dr. Nuriddin and check out what I'm telling you. Look, just read up on it. Don't be lazy-minded where you won't follow up on something to see, maybe, just maybe. What if, just maybe, what if what I'm sharing you could make a difference in your life? Don't wait. Don't put it off. I'll go and check it later. No, today is the only day you got. If you think that you got tomorrow and it's guaranteed to you, you're deluding yourself. It's not guaranteed to any of us. We shouldn't be putting these things off and waiting and think that, well, I got time to do this. You don't know. You don't know. God works in the present. The only time that's real is here and now. That's the only time that's real. So don't put it off. Do it now. Too many of us, we procrastinate and we put things off until they become so chronic of a problem for us, or degeneration really starts setting in on us, that by the time we try to start working on it to get it in the condition that it needs to be, we've got a problem. Now, this other number that you see up there in front of you, www.drnuriddin.com, that's my website. That's another website. You can go to that website. You go to that website and go to my calendar of events, and you'll see where I'm doing meetings at. And what it'll do, it will take you right to the URL where I'm doing Zoom meetings at on Wednesday evenings at 7:30 p.m. And all you have to do is click on it and you'll be able to come right into the meeting. That's Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. www.drnuriddin.com, calendar of events. Here's the other thing that I offer for you. Those of you who have some issues with your health, you want some advice, some free advice, and I'll give you some free advice up front. When you go to drnuriddin.com, if you go to my calendar, I'll give you a free 30-minute consultation on what's going on with you. Because some of you just don't know. Sometimes you feel okay, but something just is not right? Well, we all been there. So what this does for you is it gives you a chance to make a decision, gives you a chance to look at some things. I'll share some things with you based on what you share with me. And it's all confidential. And I will let you know what I think that you ought to do, if you ought to do anything. But it's a free consultation. Again, that's drnuriddin.com. Go to the calendar, click on the calendar, and it'll give you some dates where you can make an appointment, and then we'll get on the line and we'll talk. And who knows, perhaps I may be able to help you, maybe not. But it doesn't cost you anything to find out. Again, be considerate of your health, and particularly be mindful of the water content and taking in adequate amounts of water, of good water every day. It's been good talking to you. I look forward to talking to you all again. You all have a healthy and pleasant day. This is Dr. Nuriddin from Greensboro, North Carolina. Look forward to talking to you all again the next time. Peace be upon you. Assalamu alaikum.